Hello and welcome to our third video on statistics. I'm Mr. Chowdhury and today we're going to be looking at measures of central tendency. So your first task is to look at these statements above. So the average height of men is 175 centimeters and the average height of women is 161 centimeters. What does this information tell us? And what average do you think they've taken? What does it mean by average? What are they trying to say? Pause the video, have a go at that please. Okay, now that you've had some time to think about these two statements, what does it mean? Well, when we're saying the average height of men is 175 centimeters, we're saying that most men are this tall. Most men are 175 centimeters tall. Obviously, there would be some men who are taller than this, and obviously there will be some men who are shorter than this, but the majority of men are this height. Similarly for women, they're going to be around 161 centimeters. Some women will be taller, some women will be shorter. Now, what do we think the word average means? What does that mean? Now, in primary school, you may have been taught averages in a very different way. You may have been taught averages were a specific thing, but averages encompass a lot of different aspects of statistics. When we hear the word average on TV or in school or any government guidance or anything like that, they're talking about something very specific. And so we're going to try and split up this idea of averages, which is a very general, broad ranging topic, into some more subtopics which make more mathematical sense and allow you to kind of structure your understanding of averages and statistics in a significantly more simple way. So today we're going to be looking at measures of central tendency. Now you may be asking, what is a measure of central tendency? Well, a measure of central tendency are the ways in which we can see a data point, so a specific bit of information that we have, and how much it differs from the center of the sample or population. Now, a sample is a small section of a population, which is everything we're looking at. And measures of central tendency include the following very specific measures, right? The following very specific measures are measures of central tendency, measures of how much a data point differs from the rough center of data. Those are mean, mode, and median. Now, some of you may have heard of these before, some of you may not have, but what I'd like you to do is pause the video and try and think about what these words mean. What's the mean? What's the mode? What's the median? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, so now let's have a look at these definitions. The mean is the average of a set of data points. So the average, when we're talking about the average, so like the average score, the average height, those kind of things, we're usually talking about the mean of those values. And to calculate the mean, we sum up the data points and we divide by how many data points there are. So for the mode, we're looking at the most commonly occurring data point in a set of data, the data with the highest frequency. So the data point with the highest frequency is the mode, the one that appears the most. And the median is the center point of a data set when you put the data points in order. So the middle of a set of data, that is what the mode is. So we have the mean, we have the mode, we have the median. Now we need to work out how to work these out. Okay, so here's your first thing. Here is the allowance of some people. Here is the allowance of the people. Each one of these blocks represents a set of money. Each of the blocks are the equal amount of money. So each block could be £10, £100, whatever. It doesn't matter. Is this fair? Would you want to be this person here who gets one block of money? Or would you rather be this person here who gets 5 blocks of money? Is it fair? Is the first question. If you think it's not fair, how should we share this out? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, so we can obviously see that this is not fair. And what we should do is something along the lines of this. So if you just watch this animation. Now that is fair. We've shared that money fairly. But what maths have we actually done? What math have we done? What we've actually done is we've taken all of the money and said, well, if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, each person should get the same amount. So we've taken the total amount of money and divided it equally between the people. Now, how would that look in terms of a formula or something that we can look at and say, yep, this is how we do it? This is what it would look like. To find the mean, we sum up the values and we divide by the total amount of value. So we added up all the money together and we divided by 5 because that's how many values there are. So just to do a bit of practice, here are some list of values. What I'd like you to do is pause the video and work out the answers to these 3 questions. Remember, we are summing up the values, so we sum up the values and divide by how many values there are. Pause the video, have a go at that, and I'll come back with the answers in a second. Okay, so I'll go through how to answer the first one. And then I'll just tell you the answers to the rest. So the first one, we need to add all these numbers up. So 3 add 5 add 6 gives me 14, and that's the sum of the values, and I need to divide it by how many values there are. Well, there are 3 values, so I do 14 divided by 3, and that gives me 4.6 recurring. Same thing for question B, I should have got 6.25, and question C, I just get 5. That is how you would work out the mean. The next one we're going to work out is the median. How do we find the median of this set of data? How do we find the middle of this set of data? Okay, pause the video. What do you think? Okay, let's go through the answer to this. The key thing to notice is that the data point is in order. So finding the median, we need to make sure first that we put the data points in order. The data is already in order, so we are okay. So we need to ensure the data is in order. Then we can start looking for the middle. Well, what we can do to look for the middle in this data set, because it's a very small data set, is start cancelling from both ends to see if we can find a central value, a middle value. So if I cancel the 2 things on the end, they cancel out. If I cross off the 2 things on the end, I just cancel out. That leaves the one in the middle, so my median must be 3. It's the one in the middle. Okay, so here's another set of data. Pause the video. What's the same? What's different? Okay, so if you look, once again, the data points are still in order. They're in ascending order. The difference is, the one on the left, the first question that we answered, has 5 data points, and this one has 4. Now, let's have a look at how that changes how we work out the median. So we're cancelling out from both ends. Now, the median should be in the middle, but there is no number there currently. That means we need to work out what that number is. We need to work out what number is between 1 and 3. Well, that value is 2. So our median in our second question is 2. In the first one, when we had 5 data points, our median was 3. In our second set, when we had 4 data points, our median is 2. Notice 2 was not part of our original data set. So there are some issues that we're starting to see with the median. Okay, so here's your next question. How is this one different from the first question? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, so once again, this one's got 4 data points, the first one's got 5, but let's see what happens when we start to cancel. So we cancel from both ends, Our data point is going to be in the middle again, because there is no number there currently. However, before we had 1 and 3 we were looking for, the middle point for. This one, we're looking for between 1 and 2, which gives me a decimal. So now, not only is our median not in our data set, our median is not part of our data set, it's also a decimal when our data set are whole numbers. So now we're starting to see where issues may occur. So for example, if we were looking at grades of GCSE grades of students, everybody gets a whole grade. Everyone may get a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, something like that. Now, it may happen that in a class, when we're looking at the median for a data set of grades, you might end up with 4.5 as your median. Now, not only is 4.5 not in our data set, but also 4.5 isn't a value that we could have. So there are some issues that happen with medians. The other key thing to notice is that when we had an odd number of data points, our median was part of the data set. When we have an even number of data points, our median is not part of the data set. So that's another thing to remember. Okay, let's have a look at this one. What's the same? What's different? Pause the video. What do you think? Okay, so the key thing to note in this question is that the numbers aren't in order. So like I said at the beginning of this section of finding the median, we need to make sure the data points are in order. So if I put the data points in order, you notice that it's exactly the same as our first question, and we can carry on with our cancelling and notice that 3 is the median. So here's your next question. What if we had n amount of values? How would we find what the median is? So here's your next question. If we had n amount of values, how would we find where the median is? How would we find the position of the median if we had n number of values? Pause the video, have a think. Okay, to find the position of the median, what we do is we take the amount of values, we add 1, and then we divide it by 2. So for example, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. We'd add 1 and divide it by 2 to find the position of the median. That wouldn't tell us what the median is, it would tell us the position of the median. And here's the example, just so you can see it. Here's our data set. We already know what the median is because it's exactly the one we did before. So we say the position of the median is the amount of values, add 1 divided by 2. So the amount of values is 5. I add 1 and then I divide it by 2. So I end up with 6 divided by 2, which means the median is the third number. So I count 1, 2, 3, and 3 is our median. Now it's really important to notice that I've said position of the median, not the actual median. By doing this, it will tell us which value is the median. The third value would be the median, or like the 7th value, or the 2.5th value. The 2.5th value would be between the second and the third value. That is how you would find the median. I'm going to ask you to find the mean, mode, and median of these data sets. Remember, the mean is when we add all the numbers together and divide it by the amount of numbers. The median is when we put the numbers in order and find the middle number. And the mode is the one that occurs the most, the one that is got the highest frequency, the one that you can see the most. So pause the video, have a go at as many questions as you want. You could do all of them, you could do a couple, you could pick and choose, however you'd like to do it, and the answers are going to come up afterwards. So pause the video, off you go. Okay, let's have a look at the answers. So here are the answers. All of the red numbers are the mean, the blue numbers are the median, and the green numbers are the mode. If it says no mode, it's because there was no mode in that set of data. So hopefully that's been helpful and you're able to have a better understanding of mean, mode, and median, and understand that they are measures of central tendency. What I'd like you to do is go off and practice these questions with Mr. Amison's videos. If you're finding yourself in a position where you're really confident, then go on Dr. Frost and Maths Watch and Corbett Maths to watch some more videos, or practice some harder questions. Go off, be productive, and I'll see you in the next video.